edition of the show promises to be exciting. As always, I'm Yemi Adebayo.
And I'm Cecilia Omogbe. And this morning we're starting off with what the Jurgen Klopp is no surprise at all. He has been crowned the league manager of the year. I mean, this was coming. We understand after guiding Liverpool to their first league title in 30 years. And Sir Alex Ferguson, was the one who presented the trophy to him.
Yeah, it was a good moment. Marcelo Bielsa also got an award for helping Leeds gain promotion into the top flight. A good night for Jurgen Klopp. Okay, let's move on and talk about something else on the show. Let's talk about Adam Lallana. Of course, his dreams didn't come true at Liverpool, even though it was part of the team that won the Champions League and the Premier League. But he has taken his talents elsewhere. So Adam Lallana joins Brighton.
But winning the Premier League title and Champions League title is actually having your dreams come true.
He didn't play the parts that he would have loved
I get that.
to play in those things.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Well, he will get better luck at Brighton, but then we know that he will not be thinking of winning the title nor the Champions League in that. No disrespect to Brighton, but we know they are not just contenders when it comes to titles like that. Also in the program, we're talking about the NBA. The scrimmages continue. And the Bucks were shocked by the New Orleans Pelicans, and we know they are without their star player, Zion Williams. But then that didn't stop the New Orleans Pelicans from beating Milwaukee Bucks 124 and 103. Despite the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo played the game and he scored 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. But then it just wasn't enough. Just preparing for Friday when the NBA will start. Yes, the big one is coming on the way.
The guys have to keep the energy in the tank for the big one. All right, that's how we start the show today, talking about the NBA, stories around the NBA. Let's start with the scrimmages, some results.
Yeah.
You've already started, led us into it. So let's just take a look at the results and talk about the stories behind what you're going to see on screen.
Yeah, New Orleans Pelicans and Milwaukee Bucks. He has won 24 and 103. We'll talk more about that one because I'm picking that as the star game of the night. We know it's just scrimmages, but then it's still a tough one. Also, LA Clippers were also on the losing side. They were beaten by Sacramento Kings 106 and 102. For the Clippers, well, it wasn't a good one for them because the Kings had to rally to be able to win that one, overcoming 21-point third quarter deficit, scoring the Clippers 33-19 in the fourth quarters. So the Clippers are going to open their restart regular season early hours on Friday morning against Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, while the Kings are going to be playing San Antonio Spurs on Saturday. In other results, you have the Jazz and the Nets 112 and 107, and the Magic and the Nuggets, it was 114 and 110. Now, talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks, well, when that actually started, you were thinking, okay, you're going to be having some, guys who are going to put up some numbers. Yes, yeah, the guys put up the numbers. But then this guy, JJ Redick, came up big for the Pelicans. He had 20 points, shooting 4 of 7 from 3-point range in 15 minutes. And he came off the bench. And the Pelicans shot 45% from the field, including 36% from the deep. And Giannis, of course, I mentioned him earlier, he led with 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Chris Middleton added 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, but then that wasn't enough. So the Bucks, their matchup is going to be against the Boston Celtics on Friday.
One thing about all of this stuff is that you try to be cautious. You don't want to read too much meaning, then you don't want to ignore it as well. So
just warm up.
So sometimes, but it's interesting to see the guys doing their stuff. A lot of these teams ravaged by COVID-19.
Of course.
A lot of these teams not having their first choice pairings and players, but all the same.
Oh, Milwaukee got their stars.
So they've not been decimated.
Well, we're waiting for the big one, which is going to be on Friday night. So that's what we are anticipating.
The restart.
Anxiously waiting for. Still staying with the NBA fixtures. Okay, you have the Jazz and the Nets and the... Okay, no, still the results. No, yeah, still on the result. I thought it was going to have the fixtures.
and the Magic as well, beating the Denver Nuggets 114 points to 110, and that's it. All right, for the ones to expect today in terms of fixtures, you have Miami Heat up against the Memphis Grizzlies. You have the Suns up against the Toronto Raptors. Indiana Pacers up against San Antonio Spurs. The Portland Trail Blazers up against Oklahoma City Thunder. Those are the fixtures. Some of them still right there on your screen. All right, let's talk about a not too pleasant incident related to the NBA, and of course. I don't envy Doc Rivers. I mean, I don't want to be in his shoes. I mean, when you stay in front of reporters, there are some questions you'll be very happy to answer. There are some
you don't want to answer.
Just not happy talking about it. What about Lou Williams this morning getting into trouble for... I want to be pleasant.
Okay.
So, I mean, let me just hold back with the words I want to use, but that's
not so good reasons.
Yeah, not so good reasons. He's going to miss the NBA restart, 10-day quarantine for him. Of course, he violated some of the rules, and some pictures started circulating somewhere, and of course, he had to admit to some level of indiscretion. Let me just put it out, so I don't want to go into the details of what happened.
Why not? What happened? I mean, he left the NBA, he left the Orlando, Florida campus bubble and said, okay, he was excused. And of course, he tweeted that he was somewhere in Atlanta in his favorite restaurant. I mean, why would you do that when you're supposed to be, you know, inside the bubble, just preparing for the restart of the game? And meanwhile, he has played some games during the scrimmages and all that. He has played some games. This is a tweet he actually put out there. You know, if you ask any of my teammates what's my favorite restaurant is Atlanta is, and nobody's partying, chill out. He said he wasn't partying, but then he was somewhere.
Was he there?
Of course, the NBA had to launch an investigation into this, so it could mean a longer quarantine period.
We're in a period where 10
to 14 days.
Your actions don't affect only you; it affects others. So
others,
you have to respect yourself and also love others. And look, I hope nothing is wrong with him. I hope he doesn't come down with anything. But look, the minds of those who have been around him and all of that, you know, it'll be troubled because if he suddenly comes down with something, they're in a bubble. That's the essence of the bubble. So if you now begin to violate some of these requirements, I mean, how long are you supposed to stay?
Into the club, he said he didn't. I mean, he went to the club. He said no entertainers were present. But then the picture that was posted by rapper Jake Harlow, he posted and he said it was an old picture of both of them. And later he deleted the picture. So why would he delete that picture if it was really an old picture? But we don't know. But the photo, I mean, he was photographed at that Thursday night, you know, on the Magic City.
Like
and
the
all
word
that.
on the street is always, if you're going to do something stupid, don't get caught. So you know you're going to do something stupid, don't post pictures.
It's difficult for you to.
You're not going to get away. You're not going to get away because somebody's going to see you.
That's the way it is. So pictures, you know, photographers are always everywhere. Paparazzi guys, you know, just want to get the best pictures of some of these players and put it out there. So at the end of the day, he got into trouble after that. But regardless of that, well, Clippers, I mean, Doc Rivers, you mentioned him earlier. You know, when he was asked on Friday, he didn't want to talk about it and all that. But then yesterday, of course, they needed to ask him again about Lou Williams.
And
of course, the questions keep coming. But he says he was actually focusing on the restart of the NBA and the players they have right now and not on Lou Williams. Welcome back. Well, you can talk to us on Twitter and, of course, send us an email. Our Twitter handle will be displayed on your screen shortly. You can talk to us there. What you think about, we put out some questions, you know, yesterday concerning the sports minister, some of the things he said on this show, infrastructure, the sports festival, resumption of sports, and the fact that they will be meeting with PTF, COVID-19 Presidential Committee and all that today, and to kind of discuss resumption of sports, and they're going to start with non-contact sports. And of course, you just mentioned the sports policy. Of course, they will be receiving, the document today, you know, to actually finalize how we can move sports forward. Once that sports policy is in place, of course, sports will obviously definitely become more business-like. I mean, more money is going to come in, and of course, you can also, you know, it can contribute to the GDP of the country. So you're not just looking at it, you know, taking money out of the economy, but also putting back.
Putting money
back. And that's the essence of the whole policies and all that. So you guys can talk to us about that. And also what you actually want. Maybe they can do concerning infrastructure. We know that National Stadium, the Abuja MK Abiola Stadium and all of them, you know, renovation is going to be going on soon. But then there are other infrastructure that can be built, not just the stadiums. You can have other facilities across Nigeria that, you know, athletes and, or rather, youth, children can actually go up to
Yeah,
any
could
place
be a
and
springboard.
really, springboard where they can actually train, just whatever
Look at
sports
the
they feel like.
American model. Every community has place where you have
Yeah.
a basketball court. You have, all of those things. So, I mean, there are things that are easily available in your community. All right. Since Cecilia talked about the sports minister, I think it's only fitting that we allow you to listen to some of the things he said. As he already hinted, he was on our show, Sports This Morning, yesterday. Talked about a whole lot of issues. But this morning, I want you to hear his thoughts about sports business and how to put infrastructure in place to aid growth in sports.
A lack of infrastructural rationalization over the years in this country has seen to limiting our sporting successes. And we are set under President Buhari, who has given us tremendous support. As a minister, I've enjoyed the ears of Mr. President to support us. And that's why the submission to have sports turn into business from being a recreation at all, that has happened. We have received the nod that sports becomes a business. And that's why very soon we're going to have a national sports industry policy that will turn our sports into business. But to return to infrastructure, we look at the three I's and the single P: infrastructure, investment, incentive, and the policy. On policy, the policy is almost ready. On infrastructure, it is big. And what we did when we came in about 11 months ago is to start the Adopt initiative, to look at adopt a football pitch, adopt a sports center, and adopt an athlete. Let me stay with infrastructure. We decided to come up with a model of public-private partnership. And we decided to single out a number of influential Nigerians who love sports. Alhaji Aliko Dangote loves not just football, but sports generally. We approached him to say the main ball of National Stadium needs some major repairs. We've worked with Alhaji Dangote and his group in the last 8 months. We have reached a final point in which the contractor will soon be mobilized to site to bring back the pitch, the track, the scoreboard, the lighting, and the irrigation system of the National Mashood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. For us, we think that the 9 months in which we've worked with the Dangote Group has been worth it, benchmark against best practices, so that whatever we get there is topmost quality. When you look at Surulere Stadium, 20 years abandoned, neglected. Under President Buhari, we've been able to bring back hope. The first is that the concession approval we have for the National Stadium Surulere is now back on course. We have a transaction advisor that will take us to the point where we're going to have the RFQ, where those interested will be able to apply to be able to concession. But beyond that, the task force that was set up submitted its report. And the task force report will this week be subjected to an implementation review at the ministry. We intend to return the National Stadium Surulere to its original blueprint.
We can't wait for that to happen. We have Shola Rogers in the studio this morning. Good morning, it's good to have you.
Good morning, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
We'll always be talking about infrastructure.
Always.
But I love the
Always.
fact that, that's the national, they call it the National Sports Industry Working Group. They're going to
The
be
NESG,
submitting the sports policy draft to the minister this morning. I think it's about 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's going to be broadcast actually. I got an invite, so
Okay.
I'll be watching online. I'll be part of it online, and all of that. But to be very honest with you guys, I can boldly say on national TV that we finally have a minister of sports.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see, he has not only talked, he has walked the talk. Working with the NESG and the people in that subcommittee of the NESG are people who have always clamored for a structure.
Okay.
I have sang this song here I know I sound like a broken record when I keep talking about
Sport
how we
policy.
need to have a sport policy, we need to put structures in place. And what the current minister is doing is what we've clamored for. So if the policy is adopted like it has been, now we have a framework.
Yeah.
Now we have something to work with. Now we understand that sports is business, and the best way to make it work in a country like Nigeria is the public and private sector partnership. Being able to see that the public, that's government, has some facilities that they are going to have to let go of or lease out.
Yep.
Whoever puts his money in a stadium wants to make money back.
Yeah.
So you won't watch the stadium go bad. Then also the fact that we need to create enough areas for kids to work, to exercise, to do so many things. So I just see a win-win-win situation. And I'm just containing my excitement because this is not the first time that people have come up with a policy. But you know what? The political will to see it through, the ability for previous ministers to follow through on this has been what
Lucky.
has been lacking. We've lost it. You know, you just sit down, you have committee after committee, but nothing happens. But these committees have worked and they've delivered. You know, I've been in touch with one or two of them and I'm excited with the things that I've heard. And I must say kudos to the federal government and the Minister of Sports.
So it's no hype when people say, if we get it right with sports, national development will be easy.
It's no hype at all, man. There's no hype around that. It's a fact. It's a statement of fact. Sports has a multiplying effect. Sports will take care of security in Nigeria. Sports will take care of health in Nigeria. It will take care of youth unemployment and so many things, restiveness. There's a whole value chain in sports. There's a whole value chain, and it's not. You see, when they say sports, the first thing that a lot of people think of is, oh, those guys running or kicking the ball. No, it's a business. There's so many things involved. So the entire value chain has been factored in. I will say here once again, because it's not enough to be a critic. When you criticize all the time, then you sound like someone who is really bitter. When you see good things, you must say it. And I'm seeing something good coming out of this current Ministry of Youth and Sports. So, man, bravo to them.
All right.
Okay, we can't wait for it to be implemented, the policies put in place, and of course we have something we can build on. There was something he said yesterday about continuity, that this policy will also make it whatever he may have, put in place during his tenure. When another minister comes in, of course, he's going to continue, using that same blueprint.
That's the framework we've been clamoring for. That it's not about the individual, So
there should be an institution.
That's what it should be, and that's what he's trying to put in place. So no matter what happens to Sunday Diary tomorrow, he probably moves to another ministry or goes to another political appointment or goes into private life, whatever it is, the Ministry of Sports would have a framework. Minister of Youth and Sports will have a framework that will have something to build on, to say these are our long-term and our short-term goals. And deals would have been signed, legally binding deals would have been signed. So the people who are putting their money into sports will also relax.
So it's not going to be in the hands of government anymore.
No, it shouldn't totally be in the hands of government. I'm not asking government to hands off completely, but let them just follow. Not yet, until we're sure that at least we've factored in a whole lot of stuff and sports will thrive. Notice that we've been saying sports, not football. Sports will thrive.
You can't wait for that to happen. Okay.
Let's go to England quickly.
Yes.
I've always enjoyed having you here anytime we talk about the English Premier League. But let's start with Jurgen Klopp and the fact that I don't think it comes to anybody as a surprise. League Managers Association Manager of the Year.
He won that title the first day of the league. They were just waiting to the end before they handed it to him. Look, if you take a look at how his team has played in the last 2 years and how he's been able to keep the team together, he deserves this award and then some. And Jurgen Klopp is an amazing character, both on and off the pitch. I only have good things to say about that guy, and I think this award is well deserved.
18 points clear of Manchester City. Never believed that will happen anyway. Knowing how Manchester City played.
18 points clear is showing us how devastating Liverpool were. But take a look at the team celebrating third place, going all over the place, making all that noise. 33 points, 66 to 99.
Okay, we still have some time. Let's talk about Frank Lampard now. That's another coach. Will you call him Lallana? I was with Derby County and he did some fantastic job with them. And now guiding Chelsea to fourth place Champions League spot. It's a good one. Same points with United.
Frank Lampard had a fantastic season.
Okay, Ole didn't.
Look, Frank Lampard had a fantastic season. Frank Lampard came into Chelsea and he couldn't buy players. He was forced, because of the ban, to look inwards. He had to use what he had.
And key players.
As against
also
someone who could have bought everybody and did buy some. You get? So for me, Lampard had a fantastic season. They played some good football. You know, look, playing with rookies. Tammy Abraham, for God's sakes. You know, the biggest mistake he made was not believing in Olivier Giroud early enough.
Early enough.
Yeah.
But when he gave Giroud a chance in the cup competitions and he saw how well he was like, you know what? I'm sleeping on this guy. Giroud came and put Tammy where Tammy should be, on the bench. And Giroud was getting these goals. Did you get? Lampard had a good season for me because he was constrained. And now he has started buying the type of players that every team will want to have. So I'm so excited about what Chelsea will be next season with a Lampard who had very little resources and still finished in the top 4. Now that he has the resources, he has the players, Liverpool better watch out.
Okay, but he should remember to buy defenders anyway. Let's hear from him right now.
You guys don't worry about that. I'm sure he's going to cover all the bases. They hit the market really hard, you know, getting a proven goal scorer in Timo Werner, you know.
Well, easily
They got
distracted.
Ziyech by.
Okay.
Distracted by.
I mean, when immediately you heard that Chelsea were actually looking, but he stopped scoring.
Yeah, he has to save some goals for Chelsea. It's all right. Look,
Okay.
it's going to get hot. This the race for the Golden Boot in the EPL this season was very interesting, down to the wire on the last
Danny
day and everything.
Ings, I was
You know,
shocked
so
by that.
you look at Ings, you look at Aubameyang, and
Ryan Sterling.
Vardy, who actually
Vardy.
got it and all of that. Sterling is not a striker, so he was really punching above his
20,
above his weight.
that was
Yeah, that was a big
ridiculous.
deal. That was massive for him. If you look at all of that, then you're not throwing in Timo Werner into that mix, and Giroud, who is still going to be there,
Yeah,
and
so
all of that.
excited for Chelsea next season.
I am. I'm like, look, if you're a Chelsea fan, just go and get ready for an exciting time because I've seen Timo Werner play, and if he hits the ground running in that Chelsea team with the kind of midfield that they have, and they're
What
going
about
to
the
show
back
up.
and the keeper with the
Yeah,
glass
exactly.
fingers?
That's where I'm going. I think I know the answer you're going to give, but I'm very sure the fans, the viewers want to hear. If you were wielding the axe,
Yeah,
I know you have nothing to do with Chelsea, but if you were wielding the axe, who would go?
Kepa.
Kepa, please.
Kepa's got to
keep
go.
Kepa.
You know, Kepa will be the first guy that I'm going
in
to kick
defense?
out. Look, the truth is, spending money on attack and midfield is good, but Chelsea must buy at least 2 defenders for them to do very well. But if they don't, they will struggle. They will flatter to deceive, and they will just be amongst, you know, the medals and Champions League places. But if they can actually show up the back too,
And let Kepa go.
Kepa's got to go. Kepa's got to go.
Okay.
If they can't sell him, they can just leave the post open like that.
All right. All right. Two things before we take a look. Two things before we take a look at the papers. I don't know if you can do it.
Anybody's better than Kepa.
Adam Lallana leaves Liverpool.
Brighton.
Joins Brighton. Then Kylian Mbappe. It's going to be a big miss for PSG.
It's going to be a big miss for them because it's been the one actually doing very well for that. But there's one thing about PSG. They have other players who can step up. But it would have been nice to have a Kylian Mbappe in the Champions League.
And Lallana?
Lallana, good move for him. You know, he still has some football in him. And Brighton is not a bad team at all. Brighton is a team that I would like to see come back like almost immediately. You know, like get to the place where people say that these guys are actually that good.
Okay, well, you have Southampton, you have Sheffield United. Yes, the team of the season somehow finishing in the top 10 despite coming from promotion. Okay. We'll see how they can fight that.
All right.
How they can beat that. Adam Lallana can just help them, right?
Okay, we'll see.
Lallana still has some football in him.
I believe so. I believe
Papers
so.
now, right?
Papers,
Okay,
yeah.
let's start with
Sporting Life.
Sporting Life. Are you tired of this Osimhen's news? Because the story here on Sporting Life this morning is Gerard Lopez, as the president of Leeds, says he's still a lead player because there's so many offers coming for him. And the fact that it's not official, so that's the reason offers are still coming for him. So until they make it official, what's he talking about? Because he moved to Napoli that has been dragging forever.
Yeah, you know, when deals like this drag, it's because of the finer details, you know. Someone wants some more money somewhere and all of that, or some clarification on some clauses and all of that. It is believed by people very close to Osimhen that he has already agreed personal terms. So it's now between the clubs to sort themselves out. However, we can hold our breath on this one because it's a
Do you
good
see it
move for
falling
him.
through?
It's not impossible.
Okay.
It's not impossible, but I pray it doesn't.
Right.
If it does, let it be for something better for him. Because Osimhen, forget the fact that he's a Nigerian, he's a fantastic footballer. He's
But
a
do you really like
fantastic
the fact that he's going to Napoli?
I do actually.
Okay.
I like the fact that it's going to a more competitive league. The league is not bad. It's one of the top 5, yeah? But the Serie A is more exciting. And if he can succeed in Italy, he will succeed anywhere. The defenders are kind of tight. You know the way the Italians play, the massive defense, massive attack kind of thing. But with someone like Osimhen, who can play anywhere in front, you get, and even in the middle if you want him to. And the fact that he's highly sought after means that he will get a starting shirt. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Okay.
For him to be given a level playing field to prove that he's actually as good as the hype.
All right.
Okay, and another one, last one I'll take from Sporting Life is Manchester United opening £89 million bid for Sancho, rejected.
Well, it's going to be one of the interesting transfers of the summer. Let's see how this one will pan out. Because Sancho is so good that other clubs will not watch Man United just go for him like that. But they're the ones with the big purse at the moment. They don't have
And
any
they're in the Champions
thing
League,
hanging over
so-
them, so yeah.
All right. We have 2 papers, but I think we're going to be able to take just one. Complete Sports, that's the paper we're going to. And find this interesting. Capello, a statement attributed to Fabio Capello saying that Madrid have broken Barcelona's monopoly. And Danilo firing back at FIFA to say it's not only Ronaldo that has won in Syria and in England.
Of course, I don't
Of
know why
course, now facts and
FIFA had
figures.
to-
But when it's
tweak that.
Ronaldo, everybody has to play it up.
Yeah.
And you think Real Madrid have broken Barca's monopoly? Or is it one-off?
Barcelona still
I don't think they've broken any monopoly. I think it was just something that went wrong with Barca this season, and they're going to fix it in the summer and come back. Yes, I don't think any monopoly is broken.
Okay,
All right, last
Sporting
paper.
Sun is the last one this morning, and I love this one. And they set new PL record, tallies about 33 games and 2 goals and 129 tackles. That's the record right here.
Indeed, he deserves a better club than
That's
Leicester.
Manchester United.
He deserves a better club.
Do you think those clubs will come for him?
They should. They should. If you look at his numbers in the
Yeah.
last 3 seasons,
Crazy.
it's been amazing. If indeed he was British, I'm sure he probably would. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that he has been the best in that position or second best in the last 3 seasons.
Okay.
So-
all right. That's how we. It's a good place to leave it on the show. That's how we wrap things up. But first, I want to thank Shola Rogers for his time on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll keep the conversation going.
Most
Take it
def.
outside.
Most
All
def.
right.
Arguments.
Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. Of course, we'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Thanks for watching.